Have you ever stopped to think that true intimacy begins long before two people ever reach the bedroom? Most men believe passion is all about what happens at the end of the journey. But after spending years helping men over 50 rebuild their confidence, relationships, and sense of connection, I've learned something very different. I'm Dr. Rena, and today I want to share three simple yet powerful kissing spots that many men completely overlook. These aren't just places on the body. They are areas that can strengthen emotional closeness, build trust, and help your partner feel genuinely appreciated in a way that stays with her long after the moment has passed. Before we begin, I'd like to ask one small favor. Take a moment to like this video, leave a comment below, and tell me where you're watching from. And if you're interested in practical men's health advice that can improve both your confidence and your relationships, make sure you subscribe so you never miss future videos. Now, let's clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings I hear from men every single week. Many believe intimacy is mainly about performance. They assume that getting to the bedroom as quickly as possible is what matters most. They think that if everything goes well there, the rest of the relationship will naturally take care of itself. But in reality, the opposite is often true, especially after the age of 50. Meaningful intimacy begins much earlier. It starts with your presence. It grows through patience, and it becomes stronger because of the small, thoughtful gestures that quietly communicate attention, respect, and genuine affection. Those little moments that many people dismiss, the gentle touches, the overlooked areas that rarely receive any attention, these can become powerful emotional signals. When you kiss those areas with sincerity and intention, you're offering much more than physical affection. You're creating trust, you're strengthening emotional security, and you're building memories that remain meaningful long after the moment has ended. That kind of connection is far more valuable than rushing or relying only on technique. Over the last 7 years, I've had the privilege of helping hundreds of men over the age of 50 regain their vitality, rebuild their confidence, and reconnect with their partners on a much deeper level. Again and again, I've watched men arrive believing their best years were already behind them. Many felt that excitement, romance, and emotional closeness simply belonged to younger couples. But after making a few mindful adjustments, learning to slow down, paying attention to the right moments, recognizing emotional cues, and focusing on the little details they had ignored for years, everything began to change. Their partners responded differently. Communication became warmer. Affection felt more natural, and intimacy became something both people genuinely looked forward to instead of something that felt routine. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 highly effective kissing spots, along with a few bonus areas that many couples rarely think about. I'll explain why these places matter from a biological perspective. We'll also explore the emotional reasons they have such a powerful impact. And most importantly, I'll give you practical techniques that you can begin using as soon as tonight. Let's begin with the first habit that quietly weakens intimacy in many relationships: rushing. This is one of the most common mistakes I see. Many men move too quickly because they believe speed creates excitement. They focus on impressing their partner instead of building emotional connection. Unfortunately, moving too fast often causes them to miss the subtle signals that make intimacy feel genuine and deeply satisfying. From a biological standpoint, sensitive areas like the back of the neck and the region just behind the ears contain numerous nerve endings that respond much better to slow, gentle, and intentional touch than to hurried movements. When affection is rushed, the body can become more alert instead of more relaxed. Rather than encouraging comfort and pleasure, it may quietly activate the body's natural stress response. Emotionally, the difference is just as important. When you slow down, your partner feels noticed. She feels emotionally safe. She feels appreciated. But when everything happens too quickly, those feelings can easily disappear, leaving her with the impression that the emotional connection is being overlooked. Instead of feeling deeply valued, she may simply feel like another step in a process rather than someone whose presence truly matters. That's why I encourage every man to begin differently. Instead of rushing forward, pause for a moment. Lean in gently, Place a slow, thoughtful kiss on the back of her neck or softly behind her ear. Don't think of it as simply giving a kiss. Think of it as sending a message without speaking, a message that quietly says, I notice you, I appreciate you, and in this moment, you have my full attention. Now let's move to the second habit that quietly prevents many couples from experiencing the kind of emotional closeness they truly want. It's the habit of overlooking the hidden emotional areas that communicate affection in ways many people never realize. Most men naturally focus on the places that are commonly associated with physical attraction. They think about the lips, they focus on the chest, or they pay attention only to the obvious parts of the body. While there's nothing wrong with those areas, they often miss several smaller places that can create an even deeper emotional response when approached with patience and care. From a biological perspective, areas such as the back of the neck, the delicate space behind the ear, and the inner wrist contain a remarkable number of sensitive nerve endings. These nerve pathways communicate closely with regions of the brain involved in emotional bonding and comfort. When these areas are touched or kissed gently and without rushing, the body naturally encourages the release of oxytocin. Many people refer to oxytocin as the bonding hormone because it plays an important role in strengthening feelings of trust, closeness, and emotional security between two people. That means your intention matters just as much as your technique. Emotionally, these small gestures send a powerful message. They tell her she isn't simply being admired for her appearance. She feels cared for. She feels emotionally protected. She feels valued as a whole person, and those feelings often become the foundation for deeper intimacy. From a practical standpoint, the approach is very simple. Take her hand gently. There's no need to rush. Bring her hand closer and place a slow, thoughtful kiss on the inside of her wrist. Allow the moment to breathe. Or if you're standing close together, lean toward her slowly and softly kiss the area just behind her ear. Then pause. Don't immediately move on to something else. Give her enough time to experience the moment naturally. Pay close attention to how she responds. Sometimes the most meaningful reactions are the quietest ones. A gentle smile, a relaxed breath, a slight lean toward you, the way her shoulders soften, or the subtle way she stays close instead of pulling away. These small signals often reveal far more than words ever could. When you notice them, don't interrupt the moment by rushing ahead. Simply remain present. Allow the connection to develop naturally. That patience often creates a stronger emotional experience than anything hurried ever could. Now let's discuss another habit that many men develop over time without even realizing it. It's the habit of pursuing desire while forgetting the importance of genuine appreciation. Some men believe passion is created only through intensity. They assume that stronger emotions require stronger actions. But after years of working with couples, I've found that lasting intimacy is usually built through something much quieter. It's built through respect. It's built through appreciation. And it's built through giving careful attention to the small details that many people overlook. Biologically, gentle affection directed towards sensitive areas can activate parts of the brain associated with empathy, emotional awareness, and human connection. Rather than creating pressure, this kind of touch helps both partners feel calmer and more emotionally engaged. As emotional comfort increases, physical attraction often grows naturally alongside it. Emotionally, the impact can be even greater. Instead of feeling evaluated or pressured, she feels accepted. She feels appreciated exactly as she is. Your actions quietly communicate that every part of her deserves kindness, attention, and respect. That message often carries far more meaning than any spoken compliment. In practical terms, slow yourself down once again. Place a gentle kiss on her wrist or softly kiss the base of her neck. You can also linger for a moment near the hollow of her collarbone. Don't treat these gestures as routine. Make every movement intentional. Let each kiss express something deeper than physical attraction. Without saying a word, allow your actions to communicate. I value every part of who you are. Not only the parts the world sees, but also the parts that are quiet, personal, and uniquely yours. That quiet sense of reverence is often what transforms ordinary affection into lasting emotional intimacy. Now, let's talk about another habit that quietly limits emotional and physical closeness without many couples even realizing it. It's the tendency to avoid the more vulnerable areas of the body simply because they feel personal, delicate, or unfamiliar. Many men hesitate to show affection around places like the collarbone, the inside of the elbow, the hips, or other areas that naturally make someone feel a little more exposed. Sometimes they're afraid of making the moment awkward. Sometimes they simply don't know whether those areas matter. But in many healthy relationships, these gentle gestures can communicate trust in a way that words often cannot. From a biological point of view, these areas are covered with thinner, more delicate skin and contain sensitive nerve endings that respond well to slow, respectful touch. When your partner already feels emotionally safe, gentle affection in these places can encourage relaxation, increase comfort, and strengthen the sense of emotional intimacy between both of you. The key isn't the location itself, it's the emotional environment you've already created. Without trust, even the gentlest touch can feel uncomfortable. With trust, however, the same gesture can feel incredibly meaningful. Emotionally approaching these more vulnerable areas with patience communicates something very important. It tells her that you're not rushing. You're not demanding anything. You're simply offering affection with kindness and respect. In many ways, vulnerability works both directions. She allows herself to relax because she feels emotionally secure. And you demonstrate that your focus is on connection rather than pressure. That shared vulnerability often becomes one of the strongest foundations of lasting intimacy. From a practical standpoint, timing is everything. Never force these moments. Allow them to happen naturally after you've already established comfort and emotional closeness. If she's relaxed and enjoying your company, a slow kiss along the collarbone or a gentle kiss on the inside of her elbow can communicate appreciation without saying a single word. The purpose isn't to create excitement through surprise. The purpose is to remind her that she's valued, respected, and emotionally safe with you. Now let's move to another habit that many men underestimate. In fact, it's one of the simplest changes you can make, yet it often produces one of the biggest improvements in emotional connection. That habit is forgetting that intimacy involves much more than kissing alone. Many people become so focused on where to place a kiss that they overlook everything else their body is communicating. Your hands, your posture, your eye contact, even the way you stand beside your partner. All of these quietly influence how safe and connected she feels. Biologically, gentle physical contact through your hands can have a calming effect on the nervous system. For example, placing your hands softly on the lower part of her back can encourage relaxation by supporting the activity of the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the part of the body responsible for helping us feel calm, comfortable, and emotionally secure. As stress begins to decrease, feelings of trust and closeness often increase naturally. Emotionally, that simple gesture carries a powerful message. Without speaking, it says, "I'm here with you. You don't have to carry everything by yourself. You can relax because I'm fully present." Those messages create emotional safety, and emotional safety is one of the strongest foundations for meaningful intimacy. From a practical perspective, you don't have to wait for a romantic setting. If you're walking together, talking after dinner, standing in the kitchen, or sharing a slow dance, simply rest your hand gently on the small of her back. Keep the pressure light and natural. Then, when the moment feels right, combine that reassuring touch with a soft kiss behind her ear, on the back of her neck, or along her inner wrist. Instead of relying on one single gesture, you're creating several layers of affection that work together. Your touch communicates reassurance, your kiss communicates appreciation, and your calm presence communicates emotional security. When these elements come together naturally, the experience becomes much deeper than physical attraction alone. It becomes a quiet expression of care, trust, and genuine partnership. That's the kind of intimacy that often grows stronger with age rather than weaker. And it's also the kind of connection that many couples discover they've been missing all along. Now that we've talked about the habits that quietly weaken intimacy, let's focus on how you can begin putting these ideas into practice. The good news is that none of this requires expensive gifts, elaborate plans, or dramatic changes. What it asks for is something much simpler: your attention, your patience, and your willingness to be fully present with the person you care about. The very first step is to slow yourself down. Before you think about kissing, pause for a moment. Take a breath, look at her, notice her expression, pay attention to how she's feeling instead of thinking about what comes next. Real intimacy grows when both people feel seen, heard, and emotionally connected. The more present you are, the more meaningful every small gesture becomes. Once you've created that calm atmosphere, focus on the three key areas we've discussed throughout this video: the back of the neck, the space just behind the ear, and the inner wrist. These locations may seem simple, but when they're approached with genuine care, they often create a much deeper emotional response than people expect. Move slowly. Allow each kiss to last for a moment. There's no need to hurry toward the next step. Give her time to experience the affection naturally. Often the quiet pause after a gentle kiss says just as much as the kiss itself. Next, if trust has already been established and she feels completely comfortable, you can gradually explore some of the more vulnerable areas we discussed earlier: the collarbone, the inside of the elbow, the hips, or the stomach. These are not places to approach quickly or without sensitivity. They should only become part of the moment after emotional comfort already exists between both of you. Respect always comes before romance. When your partner feels emotionally safe, these gentle expressions of affection become far more meaningful. Remember that your hands are just as important as your lips. A reassuring hand resting softly on the lower part of her back, a gentle embrace, holding her hand naturally, or simply keeping close physical contact while you talk. All of these gestures help create an atmosphere of comfort and security. You don't always need words. Sometimes the quiet reassurance of your touch communicates more than an entire conversation. If you choose to whisper something, let it be simple and sincere. Speak softly. Avoid trying to impress. Instead, let your words reflect genuine appreciation. When kindness, calm touch, and thoughtful kisses come together, they create an experience that feels emotionally safe as well as physically comforting. Perhaps the most important step of all is learning to observe instead of assuming. Every woman is different. Every relationship is unique. What feels meaningful for one person may not feel exactly the same for another. That's why paying attention is so important. Notice the small changes in her body language. Listen to the tone of her breathing. Watch whether she naturally moves closer. See whether she relaxes into the moment. These quiet responses are often the best guide you'll ever receive. Rather than following a fixed routine, allow her reactions to shape your next step. Healthy intimacy has never been about memorizing techniques. It's about learning each other with patience and respect. The more consistently you practice these habits, the stronger your emotional connection becomes. Trust grows little by little, comfort becomes deeper, affection begins to feel more natural, and over time, emotional closeness and physical desire start supporting each other instead of existing separately. That is one of the greatest advantages of mature relationships. They are no longer built on urgency. They're built on understanding. They're built on consistency. And they're strengthened through the small moments of care that many people overlook every single day. Gentlemen, before we finish, I want to leave you with one important reminder that I hope you'll carry with you long after this video ends. Growing older does not take away your ability to make your partner feel desired, appreciated, or deeply loved. If anything, age gives you an opportunity that younger men often haven't yet discovered. It gives you the chance to become more thoughtful, more patient, more emotionally aware, and far more intentional with every expression of affection. Real intimacy isn't measured by speed. It isn't determined by performance, and it certainly isn't defined by rushing toward the finish line. The strongest relationships are built one meaningful moment at a time. When you slow down, when you notice the small areas that are so often ignored, when you make emotional connection your first priority, You create experiences that stay with your partner long after the moment has passed. Those gentle kisses, those reassuring touches, those quiet pauses where you're completely present, they communicate something words often cannot. They quietly say, I see you, I appreciate you, I respect you, and every day I continue choosing you. Never underestimate the value of those simple gestures. A kiss placed with genuine care can carry far more meaning than one given without attention. A reassuring hand can provide comfort that no speech could ever replace. And your calm, patient presence can become one of the greatest gifts you offer to the person you love. Remember, perfection has never been the goal. You don't have to know every technique. You don't have to create flawless romantic moments. What truly matters is your willingness to be present, to pay attention, to listen, and to show consistent care through your actions. That is what creates lasting emotional intimacy. That is what builds trust. And that is what allows both partners to continue growing closer, no matter what stage of life they're in. So tonight, I'd like to leave you with a simple challenge. Choose just one of the three key areas we've discussed today: the back of the neck, the space behind the ear, or the inner wrist. When the moment feels natural and your partner is comfortable, offer a slow, gentle kiss with genuine intention. Don't rush to the next step. Allow the moment to remain exactly where it is. Pay attention to her response. Notice the small changes in her expression. Observe her body language. Let that quiet connection guide you. You may be surprised by how much emotional closeness can grow from one thoughtful gesture. If you found today's discussion helpful, I'd really appreciate your support. Take a moment to like this video, leave a comment below, and tell me which of these three areas you'll focus on first. I enjoy reading your experiences, and your comments also help others learn from this community. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Every week, I share practical men's health guidance designed especially for men over 50 who want to improve their confidence, strengthen their relationships, and continue enjoying a healthy, fulfilling life. Always remember this: true intimacy has never been about moving faster. It's about being fully present. It's about patience. It's about kindness. And above all, it's about treating the person beside you with genuine respect and appreciation. Passion doesn't disappear with age. For many couples, it simply becomes deeper, more meaningful, and far more rewarding than they ever imagined. I'm Dr. Rena. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take good care of yourself. Continue investing in your health and your relationships. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next